Welcome back. Now, the Six Nations Championship picked up from where it stopped last year with Wales winning and, well, their coach Warren Gatland complaining about scrum penalties. What's your take on this issue of the scrum penalties? I know it's something, you know, that did the rounds last year, and here we are again. It's back.
The scrum has continued to be an issue, but before I talk about the scrum, can I just mention what a game England versus France was?
Yeah.
And to quickly go to Warren Gatland, I think Gatland is trying to preempt an issue that's going to dog his team in the game they're going to play against Ireland. I mean, he's going to go against possibly the two best props in the Northern Hemisphere right now, Cian Healy and Mike Ross. So what he's trying to do is plant an idea in the referee's mind that allows his team to dominate that area. Because if you complain about the props, I mean the refs, why would you go ahead and drop your prop? Yeah. He went ahead and dropped the prop and brought in his #1 prop, Kevin Jenkins, which clearly shows he probably had some issues there. But the scrum has continued to be a subject of contention, and the rules have been changed so many times. Next time, we don't know, maybe they'll even stop pushing at some point. But that's for the more knowledgeable among us. I don't know, Philip, if you have anything to say about that.
And Philip, which other matches do we have on card this weekend?
Of course, we're talking about Ireland Wales there. I mean, Ireland, from their last game, looked comfortable winning, but I mean, you're playing the defending champions. It's always going to be a hard one. Then you'll have France taking on Italy there. The issue is if Italy is good enough to pick onto the French complacency. They don't have depth like England, but you know, David was reminding me earlier, Italy actually beat France last season, so it should be an interesting one there. And then you'll have, of course, Scotland taking on England there. What doubles for them as the Calcutta Cup, something we have here we'll talk about, Heathens and Kobs having a similar one, the Lions Cup, I think.
Well, because the Entebbe Mongers are dreaming big, the team's dreams appear to have outgrown the House of Pain, where it's been headquartered since its inception. We've been talking to Mongers coach Robert Powell about his side's blueprint.
I have a boy here who's no more than 13, 14 years of age. He's going to play international rugby for Uganda at scrum half. He's going to be that good. He's got a wicked pass. My name is Robert Powell. I'm a 51-year-old Englishman, and I've been here just coming up to 5 years. Yeah, there's a big Kenyan guy called Ham. He kind of got me in a moment of when my guard was down and said, I said I needed to come out of retirement and come back coaching. And yeah, it's been okay. It's a few tears along the way, but I've got them playing a different kind of rugby to what they're used to, a little bit more discipline, a little bit more structure. And bear in mind, this is a young team, huh? It's a very young team. Most of these guys are students. Remember that the first organised game of rugby in Uganda was actually played in Entebbe, on what is now the cricket field at the golf club. When a team of colonials came over from Nairobi, from Harlequins, I believe, and they played a team here in Uganda. So the history of rugby in Uganda actually starts in Entebbe. So there has to be a place in the Ugandan structure for Entebbe as a club, the Mongers as a team, and as a community. This should be a community club. I missed the Heathens game. I was on my way back from Tanzania. I was literally driving across between Dodoma and Kahama when the game was being played. I got the text messages, and I was really happy that the guys had got the win. First game after the Christmas period. I thought maybe there'd been a little bit of rustiness on the Heathens' part. Maybe they'd enjoyed the Christmas too much. But from everybody I talked to after I got back, who wasn't playing with the game but associated with rugby, said no, the guys actually played out their skin. They got what they deserved on the day. But for me, the most satisfying performance had to be the Rhinos game. If they're going to cut the league down to 6, then they have to bring in a second a second competition for teams or clubs that are not part of the Bamburi Super Series, purely so that guys can get, like these guys, I get 30 guys turn up for training. Yeah? Out of these 30 guys, 4 of them, maybe 5, may get into a Bamburi Super Series squad this season. Next season, maybe 2 or 3 more, but some of them will also be dropping off because they'll be getting old. So I've got 5 out of 30 leaves 25. So what are the 25 other guys going to do when the Bamburi Super Series is on, or whatever else is on? They're going to go off and play something else. They're going to go and play soccer, or they're going to go and play basketball or something. Well, the Mayor of Entebbe has given us 1.3 acres of land. We've been there, we've seen the land. And it's a beautiful place. It's nice views across the lake. There's a breeze across the field, so the players won't get too hot. Access is a little bit difficult, but fundamentally the site is there. 1.3 acres. It's enough land to construct a nice rugby field. Maybe with some bleachers down the side, basic stands for people to sit in, and a few containers down the bottom corner for changing rooms. Nothing exotic. My main problem is, or the main problem we have is, we don't have the funding. We don't have the funding. We've talked to 1 or 2 companies already. We're trying to reach out to other entities in the business and the political community in Uganda, in Kampala. So far, we're not getting a great deal of success. A few small donations may come in, but fundamentally, I need upwards of 70, 80 million shillings. And if I can get somebody who's prepared to come on board and give us at least 50, 60, 75% of that money, naming rights for the ground, whatever. I mean, it's an open dialogue. We're in need. We're in need.
Forthright stuff there from Robert Powell, the former hooker. What do you have to say, sorry, about what he's had to say?
He says a lot of interesting stuff there. First game played in Entebbe ever. You see, those are interesting statistics. I'm yet to get the boy he was talking about. Yeah. That he said is going to be a good one for Uganda. Half, yeah. But you look at Mongers. Mongers is a team that has always found its success on the passion the players have. Yeah. They really from the start have not had that much, but they've played their hearts out. And now they were lucky enough to get Paul there. And I think they have Hamosando, who coached Uganda once, also helping them. And this has helped them develop structure. I mean, you look at the game against Heathens, forget about the referees and what. You look at the game against Rhinos, I think. Yeah, you look at last weekend. That was a tremendous comeback against Warriors. Yeah. They've matured in structure over time and are beginning to play brilliant rugby.
Okay. And obviously, it doesn't mince his words about this so-called impending formation of the Super 6, downsizing the top flight league from 8 to 6.
Absolutely. I think he raises an important point around how do we structure our rugby to keep it fresh throughout the year. So then the league is coming to an end, and you're going into the Bamburi series. What happens to the rest of your 90% of your players who are not playing the Bamburi series? How do you keep them fresh? How do you keep them challenged? And a bigger point that he raises is that we're not only competing against rugby, we're competing against other sports. And if you lose your player to tennis and all these other sports, then you really are reducing the impact of rugby. So I think he's well spoken at that.
He also addresses that issue about the land. I was there, there is a beautiful backdrop, it's really picturesque, you have a view of the lake. And I'm sure, the rugby people will fall in love with it, but he needs 80 million shillings to set the ball rolling.
Robert, truth is, even if it were 200 million, let them give it to them. Where we're struggling now with rugby is fields of play. I mean, there's some controversial. We can't get into it. We lost a ground last year. We have a few grounds, but Mongers would be a very vital addition to the rugby fraternity. The ground they have, it's good. They've secured it. We really hope they can get sponsorship, because if you're looking at developing rugby in Uganda in line with the union's objectives, that is a key area, and really kudos to them for pushing for that.
Okay. I think even beyond sponsorship, we spoke about donations and everything else. I think 80 million shillings is a reasonable amount, and the Mongers have accounted for themselves well. I think anyone that can out there should really be looking to say, how do we get this done? And the rugby fraternity, I'd say, needs to come together to say, as soon as we leave here, how do we get it done?
Okay, very briefly, guys, what do outposts like Lira and Ginger have to learn from this amazing story, you know, that has played out in Entebbe?
I think Entebbe has been blessed with talent in terms of the player base. Its proximity to Kampala also helps, definitely. Lira, I think, enthusiasm over thought in terms of that. But I think for me, it's all a winning story, whether it's Lira and Bali, and maybe Lira will, with time, will get there. But I think Entebbe has really done well, and it has the goodwill and support from the people around it. Okay. And then the players that, like Andrew Olwenyi, who have kept loyal in spite of the calls from other clubs. I mean, Olwenyi could walk in, they could walk into any club, either Heathens or Kobs or Pirates, but they've said, no, we want to grow our own people. And that's where the heart of rugby really, really comes from. And I give hats off to those guys, because then they allow the younger players room to grow.
Over to you, David. What does your team of the week look like? I'm sure many people are waiting with bated breath.
Yeah, the team of the week has not changed much. The same individuals have continued to perform. If you look at the front row, Odong, the Scots, as I said, the Kobs front row dominating that. I think it's a 1-2-3.
Yes.
I think for me, the one point that's a plus, I think, for the Kobs going into this game is that Kimono finally makes it into the list. And he's not had his best season so far. Okay. And so that should be really it. I'd like it would be interesting to hear from the fans out there. What do you think about Team of the Week? And who do you think is your...
Of course, they can use the hashtag NTVUganda to get in touch with us. Don't forget, we will be live at Chadondo Rugby Football Club from 4:30 p.m. That's it from this week. Thanks for watching. From all of us here, it is goodbye.